trying to tell us what kiss curse means, like we're fucking idiots.
I mean, some people, it's probably their first time experiencing kiss curse. No, I don't know how many people...
If they've never played a game before, sure. If this is their first video game.
I don't know how many people are first encountering kiss curse and are also reading the 1.1.1 patch notes, but I'm sure there's some overlap.
I'm sure there's none, actually. But...
That could also be the case.
First, the use case for legendary items and other effects that are overly situational. Alright, we'll look at Barbarian first. Well, I'm going to basically read these in comparison to what we saw last time and see if the numbers changed at all. I think Lunging Strike, they reduced the number on from the pre-patch numbers. They had thought from 10 to 12, instead of being 10 to 13, it's 10 to 12. Looks like all the other stuff's getting a buff. Enhanced Charge, I thought this was going up to be a higher number, but... Whenever duration doubled for Mighty Charge. I want to see the charge be good, so I'm cool with it. Yeah, this weird overpower bleed buff for gushing wounds. Okay. And then just a bunch of changes to... I mean, honestly, all the changes to aspects are okay for Barbarian. They just seem a little undercooked, but like...
Seems like or at least all the stuff that was here was in the dev stream. I don't know if any of the stuff from the stream didn't make it into here. I didn't go through and check.
I think, again, the only thing I noticed is that it looks like Lunging Strike's number isn't 13, it's 12 instead for some reason. But like, that's basically it. Uniques. Looks like the uniques are all still the same. At least from the stream they showed, looks like everything's pretty much similar. Yeah, it looks basically the same. Rouge.
Pronounced Rouge.
They look the same. That's what they were saying. Yeah.
I really wish this is something that doesn't really matter, but the way that they present these patch notes, like, at least they're not having the text overlap with the icon this time. But when I was scrolled down to the bottom of Barbarian, if I click Rogue, it just disappears off the screen because it's shorter than Barbarian. Instead of bringing me to the top of Rogue. I mean, that doesn't matter, I guess.
Just some wolf changes, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know that this will matter. I don't think it's enough to make wolves viable, but
I think they use rabies when they're like in there using their full build because they're like the werewolf. I mean, it might all stack up to be useful.
Maybe
it's like 4 changes. Along with they also have changed the gem.
Yeah, and we currently still have the malignant power for +3 wolf.
Yeah, which I guess wasn't working and now is.
Supposedly.
Got a little bit of life there. Cool. I mean, it seems fine. The mangled aspect seems absolutely useless, though, still, even at 3. You got your lucky hit chance back on overload.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Druid doesn't need any help, so it's fine.
Sork. It's still 2. That's still 50. That's still 20 and 30. That stayed. That stayed. They literally didn't change the numbers on anything. It's all still the same. Yeah. Same. Yeah, these are all just the numbers that they showed on the stream. It looks like, yeah, nothing for Sork has changed so far is what I'm reading.
From the dev stream.
From the dev stream, yeah. Everything is still the same. All the buffs are the same to the aspects, which is fine. They were good number changes. I think they need to be higher, but they're there. Spells. While lightning around you deals increased damage. That's good. Additional chain lightning bounces. Okay. Huh. I thought that was gonna be 2 to 4 mana, but it's only 1.5 to 3. Okay. Damage bonus moves be increased. Yeah. Just increasing much of movement speed. What? Bro, what do you mean? This was supposed to go up to 90. It was supposed to be 60 to 90. It's only 18 to 27?
Womp womp.
Cool, bro. Yeah, we'd like to buff
90 would have been amazing, though.
Yeah, and it was just calced as damage reduction from close enemies. Like, it's not even that crazy if it's 90.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's just cut it to a third. Fucking a joke. Buffing Sork's toughness, by the way. Literally, that's like the only thing that actually mattered on here. Was our defensive stats. Farmwell. I got the Snowveil aspect. I mean, Snowveil aspect getting the armor and going to 5 seconds is good. But I feel like it could still be more armor. I feel like, honestly, it's a Codex aspect. I feel like the Codex version should be 10% bonus armor, and then if you drop it, it could be like up to 30. Because that's basically what we need. We need like 30 to 50% armor from somewhere. And we can't keep Ice Berry up all the time, so... Energy skills, just restore mana. This is very good. The Fire Energy skill change. They at least left that number the same. Okay, sure. Dude, the gloves are still only going to 35%. Madge. Have to see how the gloves
might
actually
be
play.
able to double bounce. Yeah. Or has a higher chance to be able to double bounce.
I mean, with all the nerfs though to damage, like it's still, to me, my prediction is it's still gonna do about the same amount of damage that it could have done pre-season. Unless that bouncing thing is crazy, but then it's still gonna run into the problem where the projectiles despawn. So like, your resource might be fine, but your damage per hit is not going to be higher. Is my prediction. Oh, we got to Necro. Oh, yeah, they kept the cooldown here for Bone Spirit. Person saying Mage Lord is an increase because it's worded differently. What does that mean? Oh. It's not damage it's not damage reduction to close enemies, it's damage reduction per close enemies. I don't know. I have to actually see it in game, I guess. Necromancer. Where did it send me to? Cooldown, okay. It was a Witherboard buff. I like. They kept it. Empowering Reaper. That's like, I thought it was going to be a better change than it was, but it's okay, I guess. The exposed flesh is fucking crazy. Like, this aspect is dumb. Like, dummy thick. Good. As long as Bone Presence bug, too.
Yeah.
Aspect of Decay is getting buffed, too. It's just sick. I mean, but they're also nerfing my build, though, so... By bug fixing something. From this Essence Regeneration node is just an insane number, but I still don't think it's going to be used. And the Golem aspect, I still don't think the numbers are big enough to be used.
Yeah, why would you ever use Essence Regen when you have Exposed Flesh?
Here's the Empty Tomb. I think that's good. Hopefully we'll see how much movement speed they actually gave it.
Probably just a standard boot amount.
Yeah, and then the minion change to make them not die to affixes as much. Alright.
I don't actually know if that's what was killing minions or if they were dying to other stuff, but...
It is helpful.
Yeah.
Then we got the monster density. We are increasing monster density in Nightmare Dungeons and Hilltide. They give no numbers.
No numbers.
One line. And then they say...
Based off of the dev stream, it was like a 55% increase
in that one map.
In that one example they showed, so... Take that.
Surely it won't be bad. Surely. This change is stupid as fuck. Bosses above 60 will have more health. Examples. Bosses 60 have below unchanged. Bosses 80 have 50% increased health. Bosses level 100 have 100% increased health. Bosses level 120 have 120. Like, why? I'm just never going to kill a boss.
You have to kill 2 bosses, essentially, at level 100, as opposed to only having to kill 1. I guess they don't...
I'm literally like, we already didn't fight bosses because they had too much HP.
Yeah.
Now this is literally just seems like a change to
toughness to get to the boss in like a Nightmare 100. The boss isn't threatening to you.
Also, this means Lilith has double HP, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is dumb as fuck. Like, how are they going to say all those things they say on the dev stream about making the game more fun for players and then make a change like this?
True. That is a good point that Tornado Druid does delete bosses immediately. And so, therefore, every build needs to take double the amount of time. And it's still going to delete the bosses immediately. Going from 2 seconds to kill the boss to 4 isn't going to matter for the bosses or the builds that delete bosses. For the builds that take minutes to kill the boss, and doubling that is... Ugh.
Like, I don't know, this basically just means that, like, I'm literally going to never fight I don't know, it's like a nerf to Surats farming.
Surats anymore, yeah.
So I can cringe. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking dumb.
I think that if there was a reason to kill bosses, that having the bosses be a thing where it's like a dedicated activity and they don't want you to have like every build is able to go in and kill bosses, like that would be okay. I would like them to have buffed it in those specific areas. But like,
this just chops off half. Like, this makes Butcher unkillable at like 100 plus.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is just bad. There is no argument for this being a good change. It's just bad. This is just another one of those nerf the players changes that makes no fucking sense. And I will not take any justification for it because it is not a good change. Yeah.
But if it was a different change, it might be good. Think about it. Think about it.
Level 35 buyer boss. And they did it because of this next change. Because they're like, oh, we're giving you a legendary item. Fucking dumb. These changes mean nothing now, because of the changes above.
What I don't know about the guaranteed chance to drop a legendary. So, is that taking up a slot in its loot table to where, like, if it were to drop 5 items,
they already just rolled in a chance to drop a legendary, drop an item with a legendary. Now it's just always 100.
But are they now dropping 6 items with one of them being the legendary that they've added, or are they still dropping 5 items and now you're just going to get 4 rares and 1 legendary?
Either way, I don't think it matters because you're not going to kill a boss.
Sure. We
made multiple improvements and damage other effects interact with active barriers. Yeah, this is some sort of barrier bug that mobs are having. It's not really that important, though.
I did notice it, though, because, again, with Vuln being, if mob is Vulned, it dies, otherwise it doesn't. You would have to just sit there hitting mobs with barriers repeatedly until eventually the barrier broke and then they just shattered.
I only noticed it on the Butcher's barrier. Background cost for refunding skins has been reduced. The reduction starts small at lower levels and hits a max. Like, why is it not just 40% at every level? By the way,
why is it not just 100% at every level?
Okay, but first, why is it not just 40% at every level? Why is it like?
Why are they hanging on to resource cost? Like, why? Who?
Because they don't have anything else in their game.
It's not even a barrier though. It's just dumb. Like you generate, like it's a trivial amount of gold. Like the gold sink is re-rolling by a lot, which it shouldn't be, to be clear.
Also, they didn't
But
change
that's what
that
it
at all,
is.
even
And
though they said
like
they were going to.
they're keeping the respec cost in as an annoyance.
They didn't reduce the rerolling cost, even though they said they were going to. Either.
It's purely the respec cost being a cost is purely a psychological harm. Like it's not even an effective stop at respecing. It's just psychologically damaging. It just makes you not want to respec, even though it's not actually that cost.
So they love they keep increasing the status for everything, but one at a time. Yeah, this time it's elixirs.
Mm-hmm.
Going to 99. You can get we got the stash tab.
One
and
singular.
And the dungeon is back to being 3-second leave dungeon button. Because why the fuck did that ever change in the first place? So we don't want to talk about that.
If they would have just had the explanation ready of people are using it to escape because they can ice block and TP out, they can blood mist and TP out. We couldn't get rid of those interactions because
why hurt all
we
the
still think it's cool if you're able to like start the first 3 seconds of your channel while immune and then finish out the last 2 or something. Like that could be cool. So we're keeping that in to where we don't break it from being cast while you're doing another thing. But we don't want you to just guaranteed get it off. And so that's the reason to go to 5 seconds. Like that could be a viable explanation.
But then it's still
and that seems to be the explanation for the original change. They just didn't have that ready on the live stream. And so now they have to go back on it. Which, I mean, is fine. I imagine
they should have it just makes the game worse for everybody else for the 2 it's not worth. Just let people have their. It doesn't
make the game that much worse. Like, let's be realistic here. 3 to 5 seconds on your TP out.
I mean, I felt it every single time I TP'd, no cap. So it did feel worse. Yeah,
you can feel 2 seconds of increase.
It's just unnecessary. It's just an unnecessary addition to the already tedious parts of the game.
Well, it should be necessary for the extent of not allowing people to free TP out. And if they had that excuse ready, or reason ready, at the start,
it still
which is probably the reason why the change was made.
Still not a reason.
It would have been fine.
No, it wouldn't have. It's not a reason. Because two classes, because your 2 squishiest classes have to skillfully play the game to leave the dungeon safely. I don't. It's not a reason. It would never even need to be 3 seconds. Following Nightmare Dungeon, affixes have been removed. They removed the 3 that are the most buggy. So I mean, I guess it's fine. Honestly, they could remove literally like 5 or 6 more of them at least.
Yeah, I get a feeling we're gonna be moving on from Nightmare Dungeons pretty quickly, so they're not really that invested in making them better.
And then we got the one change to the Stork Heart. And then they buffed Temerity. They kept the stats the same as what it was going to be on the live stream, I assume, so that's fine. There's some dungeon fixes. You can read those more in depth. I don't really care about them. Not that cool.
A lot of them were just bug fixes to, like, the dungeon wouldn't stop working because things would bug out.
So now we got
good to not have that.
Gameplay changes for Barbarian, where charge carries all the enemies.
That sounds cool.
Yep. Something. And Aspect Berserk Ripping got now everything bleeds all the time. I don't understand that, but some changes to the Wolf Gem for Druid, and then other companion changes. Necro, I feel like most of these Necro changes are resulting in a nerf to Necro. But you got the Blood Orbs, and you can cap out more Blood Orbs than intended, which is like only just a good thing for the builds to use Blood Orbs, but like I don't know why.
And you're not getting to that many Blood Orbs, right? Like you're consuming them.
I mean, you could still fill the whole screen up with them, and then it would like spawn. It's only potentially a nerf, but it was probably to fix lag, I assume.
Yeah, I imagine it won't actually have any impact.
It might have an impact the highest tier of Nightmare, but Issue with guaranteed overpower attacks from the video keystone. We're not benefiting Paragon Legendary, no Bloodbath. This is like a minor little buff. So fixed issue automatic corpse explosion cast from the sacrilegious gem, the auto corpse gem. We're getting the damage reduction when you use the rune I used on corpse explosion. So it's literally just a 30% damage nerf to my build. My build just lost 30% damage. So that's cool. I love that shit. I love just losing 30% of my damage.
Well, what if you should just not have been a bug abuser.
Mm-hmm. You lost 30% damage for one cast every 1 second. I mean, when we're doing farming, I'm gonna let you know I don't manually hit corpse explosion a lot unless I'm in a tier 100.
Yeah, but you're not. I mean, the 30% damage reduction probably doesn't matter for farming. I mean, it will be a nerf to some of your damage, but I don't think it really matters. It's probably good that they fixed the bug.
I'm just telling you, this is a big nerf to my damage. It does actually increase overpower damage. Only increase overpower damage on the blood lance that was cast and not other lance targets. Seems like a damage buff if they use this aspect. It's a nerf to some of my damage some of the time. I mean, it's a nerf. It's a bigger nerf to my farming quality, to my farming damage than to my Nightmare tier 100 damage. Like, it is a pretty big impact to my 50 to 70 farming style as compared to my... Because, like, when I'm playing the Bone Storm setup in 70s, I do not manually cast Corpse Explosion. Issue where the aura power is equipped twice. Yeah, some weird bug was happening with the aura, so that'll work better now. So that's cool. Issues where Shield and Necromancer would cover their face in loading screens. I guess we're no longer Peepo shy.
Can't have that.
No Peepo shy. They fixed Imperfectly Balanced, so you can put more than 1 point into it now. That's cool. It only took them, 2 weeks. Actually, it's gonna have been almost being a month of that being broken. This is your Cryptid Aura melee power when trigger when mounted. That's cool. That's actually kind of cool to slow stuff as you run by it. Some whatever rogue bug fixes. Some changes to Sork. They're not too important. They basically made sure that the gem is working better. They're supposed to be really cool Wrathful gem. That's cool. Then
does that work with Meteor? The Malignant that makes you cast multiple things?
I believe it's only core skills that spawn projectiles.
Oh. Never mind.
Fixing issue with a random location teleport effect from the Oculus could cause players to get stuck in the environment. I doubt they've fixed this completely, but we'll see.
Still a Keck WI up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Some general fixes that... So, this is the only one that really matters. Fix an issue where post-death damaging effects ignored the damage reduction from stats of close or distant enemies. So, maybe you won't get absolutely giga-fucked if you have these sources of DR, but, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing more nerfs to the on-death effect shit. This is, literally the only thing that can kill us.
And no one likes on-death effects.
Yeah, because it just kills you, but it doesn't kill you with counterplay. It just literally kills you.
Well, the counterplays don't stand there, dummy, but...
Oh yeah, the instantaneous death explosion effects. my favorite. Fix for elite enemies for teleport affix, teleport from off screen and deal excessive damage. Thank you. That's a really nice change. They notably here with the Tusk Chargers change, it says only after dying. They still didn't fix the part that they can be stunned, CC'd, and this is only 2 Tusk Chargers, not Savage Beasts.
I'm sure it'll affect all of their behavior.
I'm pretty sure it won't. I'm sure that these are individually different mobs.
As someone who went around gathering pictures of the various mobs for the tier list, video pending, they're all the same mob. They just have different skins. I guarantee it works. The code works the same on their attack, regardless of.
Well, that's weird because when they've changed monsters in the past, they've had to list out the 3 different names of the same mob type. So either they're being lazy here, or this is just Tusk Charger. Tusk Chargers are the one in the woods dungeon that we were running last rotation. I don't think it's in there anymore. I don't know. Warp's funny to me not attacking the player, sure. And then there's some quest changes. They got a lot of changes to the dark dance power. That's the resource one, so you no longer damage yourself. Oh, also the barber doesn't work anymore for group.
I noticed, yeah. That was my most sad moment. My Z barber.
Yeah, barber doesn't work anymore for group at all.
It's probably better that it works that way. But
I don't see why it can't just work both ways. Like it's.
I mean, there's no way to make it work both ways.
Yes, leave it as it was. It was fine.
Works one way. It doesn't work both ways.
But it's usable. What I mean is both ways. It's usable for a solo player, and if you bring it to a group, that's cool too.
Well, it's not cool for group because there are things that don't work with barber.
Okay, so fix those.
It's easier to just make it not work for group.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling these Malignuts are not going core.
Yeah. Imagine wanting to fix something so that your players can have fun. That sounds fucking absurd, actually. Imagine. Ow. And then there's a bunch of UI changes. Still nothing actually important for the player to our quality of life experience.
Madge, where's my search bar?
Bunch of various stability improvements.
A lot of stuff for the horse on controller.
Nothing
only on console.
Nothing for the horse on PC, despite it still being giga shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the patch is probably in the correct direction.
Except for the boss change. Why the fuck are we getting the boss change?
Except for the boss change, yeah. But, like, all of the class changes are cool. And, like, the increase to density is good.
It probably makes
in theory, from the one example.
Now. Being Wind Force having vuln damage probably makes it somewhat usable now. Not too informed on what rogue build would actually use it, but it looks like a cool item now. Whereas before you took one look at it and went, oh god.
My takeaway from the patch, though, is that it doesn't make me want to log in and play the game. So, like...
I mean, it's an improvement other than the boss change. I don't understand the boss change because, like, why just add that annoying... It's not even, like, annoying. It's actually, like, just an insane... Like, you're not going to kill bosses anymore. You're not going to fight bosses.
Yeah, I think that's a big, not good change. But...
And I also still feel like the class changes are undercooked. I feel like they could still... Like, I feel like we're still not getting back to the power we were pre-season. Like, I just hate that. It's like, just give... Whatever. Just give people the power back. And actually design a game that's fun. Instead of taking away players' power and then trickling it back towards them as to make the game feel like it's getting more fun because they're getting it's so ass backwards, and I hate it, because if they actually thought differently, they would act differently. But it is an improvement to the game. It is an improvement from patch 1.1.0 to patch 1.1.1, other than the boss change. Why do you need more power when they nerfed Nightmare 100? So that my builds feel fun. So that my builds are more fun to play. This monster HP thing is... This boss HP thing is dumb. I mean, I'm gonna log in for the patch just to see the monster density. I don't know if I'm gonna level a Sork though. I think these Sork changes are a little too late for me to like, because again, they also still didn't do anything with like actual XP numbers. I get that there's more mobs, but could still need a vast improvement to XP generation.
I think for next season, it'll be... Will you be making a Sork next season, I guess is the question.
I mean, if I don't make one to test to level, I'll probably have to see how people actually feel. Like, they still didn't really do anything for our damage reduction. We don't use any of this stuff. So it's like one or two spot. It's... They're still not fixing our class's damage reduction problem. So without seeing more, and like, honestly, basically just waiting for Season 2 changes for Sork to see if it's going to be playable. It just seems like Necro's the play.
He doesn't know these are the Season 2 changes. The changes are fine. I wish we would have more cooldown.
Monsters are played by underpaid children at their country. Add more monsters would blow the budget. Yeah, I mean, it's not Doomer, Randall. It's just like, okay, the game is still Doomer. This patch is pretty good. This patch would be basically literally be only a W if they didn't just do this stupid boss change. Like, people have already memeing it. I've already seen like 3 people post videos about how you're just gonna not fight interactive bosses anymore. It's like, this change just means you don't mess with bosses. I mean, if they keep moving, if they stop doing changes like this boss change, and only have the rest, if I take the boss change out and have the rest of the patch notes, and we get a couple more patches like this, maybe one more during this season, and another one to start Season 2, with Season 2 actually having end-game content, we're getting better. But, like, it doesn't matter what changes they make, really, if the game still doesn't have end-game content.
I agree, Zietch. The explanation of the above patch notes just really... Yeah. I hadn't read them prior, so I didn't understand what the word increased meant.
Yeah.
Also, it's very telling that they use the word adjustments when it's just like, what the fuck? My only thought for the boss monster health increase thing is that it's a preparatory change for some sort of end-game system wherein bossing is actually rewarding, but that's the copium talking.
Yeah. It's whatever. I was honestly hoping that they would have more changes in store and not just copy paste the dev stream, but you know, we all knew, but I basically called it that they'd already sent they had to send those notes out to the consoles, so that's why we, you know, are waiting however long we were waiting. Those were already They just have to put the not finished yet thing so they could always like tweak something or something if they'd made like a huge mistake, but
Dude, Drew, imagine if killing the butcher just guaranteed gave you a level's worth of XP.
Except for we know it doesn't.
But imagine.
Still, like, okay.
Well, if you were level 99, you would go find the butcher and kill him.
There's no guaranteed way to find him.
To the ends of the earth.
So some people probably like... So Blizzard was probably like, okay, everything we said on the campfire chat or showed on screen has to be in there. Let's not make many changes, because they hated when we did that. But, like, I think they're misunderstanding why we hated the changes being different from what they showed or mentioned on the stream. It was because they were only bad changes. We would take additional good changes. But I guess to them as developers, I don't trust them still to know what a good change is, so I guess I'll take it. I think they're also misunderstanding Sork's problems. Oh yeah, they don't understand how the fuck to fix Sork. Good shit, man.
I don't know. Like, when you compare it to PoE, like, PoE is like, hey, we're coming out with 16 new keystones to the Atlas passive tree. Let's show you 3. And then they show you 3, and there's going to be 13 more that are, like, not shown there. Whereas in the D4 dev stream, they just showed, they, blew their whole load. And it's not even that, I don't know, like, it's because they just don't have enough girth.
I just would have liked to, I don't know, I would like to have seen above expectations, but I got exactly what is expected, which I guess is fine. Actually, okay, I got less than expected because I got a boss HP.
No, they mentioned that in the thing, that they were going to be increasing the boss XP or HP. They didn't mention by how much. And honestly, it's more than I thought they were going to increase it by.
I just have this constant reoccurring thing that whenever I read D4 patch notes, I don't walk away hyped.
True.
Like, at any of them. Since even before the game came out, since they were making changes like between betas, there's never been a patch note that made me walk away excited. And that's a problem.